abusiafo awia abo premo so ato wo live wo UTV so awia prem to be kase bo afiri o mayimu ene ama hodro so ene aka ne nyina abom se UTV kase bo awie ye de ebrem na se bebre na obetie wo kase bo mu a o mampani seselensi na na dodan ko kufu ado no se nya no krese sojafo ane ade ade wo mo ko Ghana ya hye ye ne ama awdo ahye so boda no so na bia ye tu ani ade asi from Mantamanase Volta region so ade ana wo so mbo obia ho ban sana kase bokro ya mu no obeti se Japan royalties won sema akwakoda ne man so ebinum se adane family and friends e wo MPP abamu no abanse nya sakra enete ne mo meboa Ghana sikasem amoman no etimi enya enkose be kwa kwotwe omanfo e wo adom no be wo mto wo makwan enye kra anti aban wo twirani na afi wo mehwe wo mu ye be kwa ma no ne akoyenu Niger fo eno so esuato ayiri ama enkofo bebre wo mu fie krache be bi wo mu do mu ti beto no akwakoda ne asem ni nyina aka bom a ye de bebo awie se UTV awia pram to be kasebo your friend me Afia Pokua this way chocolate drink do here any ensuo share special ice mineral water Ghana nyina ensuo de kono gin ya de atoma FDAC we de clear eno na wose yanom ya bebo busu immune system say obi onum nsuo bia de bia odwunso bibi boni bia wo ho bia na ni nyina no aba besin best point saving celos and is kakra bia onim se bebre ho akere wo mu ama wo musika kwa kodi direct what is the best point ye din wo mu kronje fita asa akado ye usika na ede ye ho a ye hweso ye ma no wo emfaso baso de bia wo po sika bia bra beje wade ekobo bra wo ye onipa na wo nenam ka akwa ho to adwuma aso otafo pa wo pa fo fo tika nkoto ba bia wo fa beto best point saving celos ne hwe usika so emma da chinti wade usika na akwa koyo adwuma ye fa me Afia Pokua Afia mfa kasebo no emu chechemu ento aso ya de kasebo ni mu chechemu to aso na ye hyase e wo mampani atan ye na mampani seselensi na na adodan ko akufu ado na ochem se na nsen na nkofo bi de ye propaganda e de etia wo no ene na ban ne se MPP fo atu omani e de esie nuan mo e wo from antem so e teti wo mo yakayaka de no ombe so omde yo mu na so mampani se nya sa na tie sojafo anasa asrafo ana na ye de wo mu kogu from antem no buta ba ko pe ene na eta chie ni se wo mbe hwe Ghana ye boda no so na amaya Ghana ne wo mo edi ehye ebo hye no Togo num ne ade beti mi ahwe se de ba boni bi emfuru onom na emra na ni tichu kra no covid ba no obi mfa kwati kwa so emewura o ma Ghana mu emeha Ghana adwene wo se enuti enya adwemo ni bia na omde asafo no ekofra amantem
Now that I'm here at the home of one of the most hallowed stools of our history, the ancient seat of government of the valiant, redoubtable Anglo people, I believe I'm duty-bound to address a few matters that have come up recently that concern this government and the Volta region. I, like everybody else, heard about the uproar that greeted the recent deployment of military personnel along the borders of our country, including the Volta region. The Minister for Defense and other ministers gave what sounded to me like detailed and clear explanations about the situation. Unfortunately, the situations did not appear to have satisfied some people, not least, I suspect, because of the mischief that is so easily generated by some elements of social media, and also because of the season we are in and the determination of some people to stir up ethnic sentiments in the hope of reaping some political advantage. Let me spell out clearly again, for the benefit of all of us, that the Volta region was not singled out for any special military operation, and there was certainly no political or ethnic agenda. We live in a difficult neighborhood where terrorist activities have become everyday matters for many countries in the region, especially, regrettably, in our immediate northern neighbor of Burkina Faso. And if and when we have reason to tighten the security along our borders, it is my responsibility to do so, and we shall do so. The deployment of the military personnel along our borders was a nationwide exercise and was done across all our borders and not in the Volta region alone.
Abusiafo His Excellency Omampani Nana Adodan Akufo-Addo no call from Mantam nyina de wezo na wolo Omampani wose ne girlfriends ene eye Volta region for enti NDC for enti ase de enti a de bia osori ano o from Mantam na wo munye hu obe ma opeba enti a ase me diet ba ko bo ama wo be kwa ko se ma no e Volta region no vote na e Volta region ni nyina obeji ni nyina to mo enti ase ene wonodu won ma Volta region for wezo na wolo nana wo maje no aboso no yento akase boya eso na Omampani efree Volta region na ye call ejapa ya ho na onim se eyi bia ba adwuma bi a aban aye a ho hyehye ne se yen ya tu gold ni ade ne yen na efi adanse ne amanse ne kwa abere ne ade a gold foi tutu gold wa ya asase so no royalties e twa ya na ehun sikasem ne yen hyeda nhwe so yie enu se de be hwe so yie nti na aban kwakote company bi e de ejapa wo mu disika no kwa kogu company foforo a wo ma register no e wo London Stock Exchange so na NDC fo mu no ya kutukum wo mse na nya NDC fo nkwa ankronkro bi kra tin church se da bi wedi akwakwa family and friends e na aban peso wo mu ncheni esanse yera ya asafmafo ba wom yera ayi edubuan prof ya no ye MPP first presidential candidate wono so ne ba e ka ho eni mpanifo ne lawyer fo a nkofo kra se e be se yera gabi asarotwede akomo na SEO wo mu nyina aka ho ade we wo mti ase enyeye enso aban se obi akasa enfi wo mo enfi obi a esanse wo ma yesa Japan no se de ba ochena Ghana tikasem ye royalties ni yen wi ni nyina ni ne mo ochena ebeboa Ghana economy no.
Why is it okay to borrow today for the future and not good to use our resources to leverage assets for tomorrow? We must be creative to expand our sources of raising income to support our development. We are in a hurry to catch up. Every year, every generation we wait, we keep millions of people and families stuck in the abyss of poverty and sufferings. If we want to increase our share of the global pie, it sometimes means creating new innovative structures that give direct access to the natural resource in a manner that is open and transparent and operate in accordance with laws that exist outside of our own country. That is why listed oil companies that operate in Africa can raise capital at levels closer to the European companies where they are based and not the countries where they operate. They create structures that focus the investors' exposures on the commodity, not the country. This opens up new areas of funding. The tactic of compartmentalizing and separating perceived risks with actual risk has helped flawed companies to create more value from our resources than the governments and people who own the resources themselves. We only need to look at tallow, recently damaged by corporate problems and yet still able to raise low-price bonds in the midst of the economic crisis, and able to do so at a rate lower than the government of Ghana, from whom it receives its mandate to extract resources. This is the case even at a time where our government is raising funding at historically low levels when compared to our predecessors. So it is time to reimagine our future. We all by now must be tired by being cheated by foreign companies and we constraining ourselves from using the same vehicles that they use. We have to maximize value of our income that is due the Republic from the mineral wealth that we have for the benefit of our citizens, and that is the prime objective of the MIIF, to maximize the value of the income due the Republic from the mineral wealth of the country for the benefit of our people. So we are really excited about the listing of Ajapa in London by the end of the year. It creates the first royalty company of that nature in Africa. It is really sad that for a country that has been mining gold since the 15th century with the Portuguese, we still don't have any international listed company, either in gold or even in cocoa. This must come to an end, and we believe this is a strong statement to register Ghana's presence going forward.
abusiafo ye free japade ne gold royalties nsemu aban so obo ho ban ne mu no yasan ko framantem ebio na awo mafia ye wo anglo asase so e wo framantem ye togbi shiri otoso miensa unim se anglo asase so de wo mu regent kese pa wo te akonwa kese so ene ye togbi shiri waso ode asedane abasobo de kese ma his excellency na nadan ko kufu ado mampani so wo mu ahaw ne wo mama ne hunu wo mu de beto nanim na ano ebi wo krampo a wo mama so otumi aba na waba be ye ni nyina ma wo mu wo se framantem fo nchicho ne manfo ye wo anglo no wo mani so papa nti obi aka bibia acha na nado a momummo anglo fo de wo na nado a enenam.
On behalf of the chiefs, queens, Agbotadwao, and the entire citizenry of Anglonga district, I wish to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation to you for creating the Anglonga district. I also thank you sincerely for the warm reception you accorded the chiefs and queens of Komeshima who visited the Jubilee House on Wednesday 20th May 2020 for the immediate response and action taken on some of the requests they presented to you. As a new district, I want to show my appreciation for the newly completed and ongoing projects in the new district. These include the Lagoon landing site at Anglonga, the Bomigo Steel Bridge. 3. The new district assembly complex being constructed. 4. The construction and completion of classroom blocks, dormitories, and dining halls in Anglon Technical Institute, Zion College, and Anglon Senior High School. The construction of classrooms, workshops, administration, and dormitory blocks at Atoko Vocational Institute. The construction of workshops, administration, and dormitory blocks, and renovation of classrooms at Tegby Caring Sisters Vocational Institute. And you know, Mr. President, the old and true saying that one good turn deserves another. We assure you of our unflinching support in bringing development to our district and wish you God's protection, guidance, wisdom, and all the best and success in your campaign for 4 more years.
abusiafo to akasiabo no eso live e wo UTV yemfiri ono me kwa pomode hu semu dokwanchefo pani oda pomode adwuma ko no ano ye Dr. Patrick Kuma aboaje no ochemu se Ghana ye se ye covid ya ye hu adwuma aba fom ya no ekrofo bi so asan kwa akotam covid ni bi aba omayima me covid cases no ekoso kitwa bi nanso Ghana gu modern bo no eso wo se Ghana new covid-19 cases ayensa kan eyo ha ene wotwe ya every district anase mensi makoma kwa dionu mienu mu ena regions mantam akomako nsia emu ene friba nanso keka ni nyina bomu a efri se covid ne sha ase ba Ghana besi ene no Ghana ya bo ehomodem pa me covid cases no chiremu a aba efom tesi a no hwe Ghana covid cases a na ya active cases wo muguso wo hwe eya apem ahanu edu wotwe enson 1287 na Ghana nyina efri se covid sha ase besi ne no ye cases enye nyina oka ni nyina bomu a eye empemeduana miensa ahankro aduanan enkono 43949 na yakwa ma nekra de omo atom no akwakosi empemeduana mienu ahasa aduokno emienu eye 42392 echete Ghana yabo ehomodem pa no so se ye hwe ehu ye se de ba se de nkofo akofa bia beka no obi nsan fa bi emeke ehu ebio
1287 active cases with a cumulative total of about 43,949 cases. 42,000 of that has recovered, leaving an active case of 1,287. We've recorded so far 270 deaths, accounting for about 0.6% of the total of the risk. We have so far tested about 431,272 people, and 43,000 is positive, and that brings our positivity rate about 10%. And this majority have been the contact tracing, and we also have about a third of them coming out of the routine cases. That's for those who show symptoms and are tested. So at the time of reporting, we have recorded about 108 new cases from 22 districts. It's not 216, 260, and from 6 out of the 16 regions were reported, which means that 10 regions did not report any case. Of this 83, 83 came out of Accra from 13 districts in Accra. So that shows you that close to over 80% of all the cases came from Accra. Majority from Tema West and Ayawaso West. Western North had 10 new cases from 2 districts. Bono East 6 from 3 districts. Ashanti had 5 new cases from the Jura, Seshiduma, Son of Boise. And Eastern region had 3 new cases from Pokua West. Western region had 1 case from Amenfi East. So the remaining 10 regions did not report any new case, despite the fact that samples were taken for suspected cases and contacts.
Abusafo Augusto awoshe live ewo UTV yenko ensefofom ne yekọ ensefofom e kobro no bia e de adromobe omafo honum esu senya mienim nie empuntuo pa ebi twaguo ukọ cantonment nom ne ade a dansoma crowd honum asphalt papa bi ne ye ne ho no wo honum pa de aso wo nka Ghana ho chese akwan pa de ahmete nti wo sra ban so ntwe nani na ka wo mehwe wo no wo so wo do masem efa onobe obiamu a wo ye mra hye bedwani no so afa be de hwem eye nkronkuma mpuntuo ene potem amamu so wo mane nto aban krofo ne ntutu o man penisa Afia ye rose no kan no wo sre wo so kan obi o ma bi enso wo so kakra
efi oyibi besin ko ebre oyokwan bia sabe oyokwan kasepa a ufi taman na so kokomase a ha na esa utumfa na wokọ ufi Accra ukokofo du abotuma fa ha yenkwan ya aka ho asema kan onabo obiamu a oye disi wo ha mi ankata jase hen me mempanyen ye tu ana mon akọ no so mpembebre ode enne ochena ti yehwa kwarne fede ade na ha yen afune yen nti na ndemba ha adapaba abochobo ya na yen ha wona nti esre present omra no mabua yen na yen kwan won hwe ma yen
abakro mu ha 26 years ni e kwan we yen yeda na bia bra ni e bra toilet ni kromu ha kro kase we toilet ba ku pe na wa ha nti mesra aba akufado so ba ye kwan any toilet any hospital maya wo kromu ha enye wan ya to aba
fiti oyibi iko adamro bedum sebi eze eje 150 pesos ama eze eje 3cd se wudi obi fi adamro be no yare no opemfo kura no gwa na obeti an kunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkunkun obiamu a oba so oba be yen kwan up to now oba dada yen sa no ko munya ka so nyo no yo kwan munya ka so nyo no yo kwan ndi ade e ka yen pa ye ndi e se na ne se me ko to se pa ne kyau de ne kwan na me bi acha oba ha no kwan ase kura ndi onu so o me nanum kom no mra na eden wo me yen kwan ma yen
yesra Ghana panifo yesra Ghana man sa yen so adabro ba ye kan ho bi edu ba bia ye panifo no ye bibia na mo twa ye ja na ye ti wono mo adabro ba kro dua yi I said ye kan Ghana ho yesra Ghana panifo wa ho blasemu Ghana adabro ba ye kan ho bi
na me say ye president omo nka nkyere no onabu obiamu ambo na mane nti onum say ye bre wa ha masa obiamu a 16 years no lokọ wa ha yi hwehwehwe ni won pese obeye wo ya kwai so amaye adetim bia oba story sa ba foforo so a enye na ban da ban so ba omu ayi masa jese dawa fo aye dam kwai so utoka 2 weeks na se okwa boso kan in fact ye bre ye mrewa jese yehu ye bre mi hu na me ho yira mi hu na meka
dem be road na Afia we nkwano yen reshape kwan reshaping 3 times. This is our third one I had there reshaping nti obi kase ebia abayani ni kwan so a in the first place no na chese oni pa kono enye no kware na oreka na I think say what they are looking for is a third road na tar road no nso no enye bibia enne okase opa adechia na sebe wonsaka it has to go through process na ohwe me the letter bi a chemo road way no has been captured every oyibi me letter me a chemo HSA it has even been given out to a contractor so on hwe na on CC kwan no na on tar road no enti aban ani wo kwan no so na eno na chi nso no bibia me ankasa makọ krom ho enne enipa omo ho no akokasa ebinu mate ase but em say afa bebre no so enti ase because they feel say over and over no nkofo ba ebeka shom to mba road no but omo ye but my yen remfi say ye buy ye 3.5 years ani sebe ukọ adam mbe krom ma eniama yaye wo ho no eno kire say yen ni wo krom no so enye say bia ye desert omo
we di omanfo wadromo be eno no DC so akase yie pa yanto aso ne enko fifi mantena nan manfo bedwa ye wo hono na wo mo kase wo mo bo man pani seselesi na nadan kwakufu adin na ban abaso pa se wo ba ye wo hye wo mbo se kane ani nsuo wo de chi wo mu esan covid ba ye aboso miensa de edi kan wo san de boso miensa epi so ma ne be ye boso minsia no wo mahunu pa nti we de wo mo da ase pa no pani kase a wo ne da na nan manfo bedwa na no e wo fifi mantena brempo nyamfo krampa ye otoso nsia wo gina na nan mahimfo no anim ya wode aside ema o mampani
your first general meeting your house how na yes your first general meeting na usain COVID-19 yarba abokodom wiase nara ema ebi aka o my god nti ona mama ye meeting nara atwe edi akwachi aban hihye a odutuba wo COVID-19 na weyi bedin bi de fina nanom do another manga do in terms of your utility bills odutuba for 3 months no oyade a o benefit aye o manga na papa pari Sunday yehwe utility bills are impia na do ye fifi mu a na was slashing off the mine na ayade a ebo papa pari central region and na ye mine nyara ye expect there such allegation no obeba na ubo list another ubo list or some of the suffering of paying utility bills no na odefi oye yedo
akwenshia wonya kwado nde yarba tutu amwe abakan hi ahye wo kwa bi do yakwa kosobe ho na mayehuni de both sides of the road amanfo encroach market na wo budumbram na nyim abba ema there was no space for maneuvering outside the main stretch nti mayeye de yabotro both sides ni na nti se abempo na nanom samohwe a mu de ofi bema filling station wo won say yimfa se finka ifike ko sere kwa deko dikasi bibi Walmart to sade ya tro site ni na with the view there your bem for maneuvering now affect the main highway and see what can be. But eventually, the long-term solution must be to expand the road so that the flow from Accra will not be constricted. Because the flow is quick, then you get to that point, it's constricted. So it's part of the problem. Na nina yabokodo na yedzihu juma yameba ya dumma road mbaya expanded na flow etum akoye akontentem
Tafo ye free on me yenko adan ye du adan ema wo mutu nkyene ewo adan potem wo ba bi agi nipa free kofi wayo abreso a kofi wayo ba Ghana wo se won de nka songo ayi de enko be ye songo nkyene na ma na ye se gold wo Ghana ha wantwumi anya besi na se kra no so aka wura mo so atonsuo mo senso hin no ko ye hunu kofi wayo no ema no aye sentofo nhye mom de ato aba anim se eno an no mo ye no mo didie nkyene no mo tu no songo ho no na wo mate na nsense aban so wo ba beton no se na aban we sa na ate wanya bibia mo ase a se na ye ntwan ho esa mo no kro no wo aban wo ba ye wo ma wo mo kapre e mo mo fa nye chop money enkyene no mo tutu nkakra so a wo san beton o mo se aban nyina yie enye se wo de santo kwa ne ba de be fono ono akasa aban no ansa na yato aban no kra e ma na ye nsechofo nhyiemu
Emaya mo yanchini wadwuma ewa adano friends enchofo nhyiemu Reverend Sophia ne kasa de emo mo no mo sei omonkoda mesori aban so madwuma mo eye no wode ma ankrankra nyumako bia mo maba beso no mo sei adan aba betua no aduane egu ana wei ene ye ede hwefie enti so ba be ye no sadia na oba bebo ya bra yesu ye mpreso ne mpreso wachina omo asere koku awodo wa manyosem so mo nto mo achihwe emo masetena mo ntumpon
PNDC law 287 in particular the clause says the government is holding the resource in trust for the Adans. So we have a peculiar mineral law, which means that the government is holding this resource in trust for us. And they are saying they will develop it for the benefit of the 45 contiguous communities and then public interest. If they want to do anything, the women should be in the know. The community members should be in the know. Unfortunately, that has not been done. All they heard was in the news. And so they are saying that since this law is in place, the government needs to consult them and let them be part of what they are going to do. Accountability of royalties accrued over the years since 1992 has not been accounted for. And so if they want to develop it, why go in for an investor? When salt mining is just natural. You don't need so much investment. Maybe the only thing that would need to be done is about processing if we want to do export.
Emani bi ene UTV ekasa kire se omadwuma mo ye yeje ade amankwankwa dwumakodie enya de se bebo mo kra
na ye wo royalty wo government ho se ye si ombesiesie nsenu ma ye na ye nya profit wo so a e ya dansongo na eni on fa onya account ma ye no fa ye royalty no fa besiesie but ye kan se on ko fa obi se private ni pe bi se onu ne ba be ye na ye yakoye libeless wo ho enu ye mpe se sia mo de omo achiche enye ahemfo ni bi ka ho omo achiche nsio ni nketen iti wu ukwa koyi nchini ni bia eni eji te sese ne uji na we jimi srew me pa ocho mi yi bia na a upre one cd eni wo be kwa koyi umpre dia eni eme nkoyi sawe no eni hofitetete afa na aba ye mpe no ye pese songono enda ho no bia ye krom ese eda ho na obie endidi wo
Abusafo guso a wo share live UTV a ye kanfo ama se awie so wo didi a no a special ice mineral water ni bi esi unche pa no abo no guna me say obi na ka say cheers ajia we di aduane etesi a na che se wa onim se finsuo a eno so ye guy pa special ice mineral water no what is me so ya wo de okono chocolate drink na tea no ne ade a and this way de ohia ni so so de one na di ukanu musa se kai on say yeah aduane ya kama pa special this way eno a de ohia ni so she sa no ewia bosi ana de ice cubes kakra bia wo no na akọ no yankọ abuom yakwa abuom awosunafo a omafo wa abuom so chese wo mo health center na ho no nya mienim mfanchim beka de omonyo onye waso ba abuom nko a empotem ho no ye wosunafo south mensim ho no enipa ba ho nko abebro empem wotwe na nso duru ho no mpa de edi nipa beto se mpa so ene ade kra na chese asefem wo mo kra ye adwumafo no mo duru ho no kra na mo susum kra adwane efu wo mo to mo so mo sere aban wontwire ni mehwe na afo wo mo awo mo.
How did we? Even say any toilet crowd ha. Next quarters France maybe it is next be bad or bra so when ya a dime and no see a problem fine I ward say I have a health sentence
the ambulance and I'm saying next quarters yen na cases bad this security free ha ever see kokrom na baba necessary yeah, so we are new.
Detention room or crime. Bed back in the zone. You need nurse detention room. You need females and admission room. And I'm married. It's have a couple. Yes, sorry. Simpana, not a man. You don't go to the same room. About the same room. Sometimes we come a little bit difficult to find them. And I room to compare two best. And we have converted bench. And the mattress at so. So in case they say against the tomorrow, and they are hard. And I also hear a lot of facilities.
Abusiafo ye mfresh na for ye kobono region na ehwehwemu a eye empanifo a wom neda Ghana AIDS control program aye afibia wom ye na wom ye efa nipadodo ewo HIV AIDS emowa ni bi ye virus no ene ne dodo a ebetimi aba ewo mensi ne mantama wodo nyina mu wom ato ne din sentinel report na sa sentinel report afidia aba ne chese bono region ene dikan wom HIV prevalent rate no akwa anim akosi eye ohamu eye miensa ne 3.9 ne chese 3.4% na wode tutu wom nuanu ma wotifi no mantamo a prevalent rate no eye nipadodo ebetimi aba na so wom anya HIV mowa ni bi no eho no eye 0.8% and akofos dear pa na nti aba ebono region kan bi na kai poe manta eastern region na edikan na nkofo bebre ekọ Abidjan ekoye aduma ho eche na asante mantem ebedi kan asante mantem so yehu ya kosi se boase so na te se man se aduma ne sebe ba si bra ne ye dwobi gum ene awusha ene de ade ne eche se boys so okotu galamse kakra na cash boma de aka ne sa ade ede eno oni de bewu to okona ye kwan da ho eye kre enye kre o bogum sa e na Ashanti region eko animu nti Bono region eye den e no prevalent rate eko so
na ye 2018 no ehu se prevalence ofa emia oha na emu 2.4% no na it ofa apema 24 this year no abafem eko 2% efa ofa oha ebien nanso no se ohwe 5-year trend nhwehwemu na 5 years and 10 years erikosoro though there is a drop 1 year no 5-year and 10-year trend no ekosoro sa na yehu nanso ene no edwumede na esonko first na 10 regions say 16 regions and na yehu se Bono na say ehwiesi enim last year na Western Greater Accra. So say Bono na ehwiesi enim followed by Greater Accra ne Ashanti. Na afei so yehu says enya se ebia yehwe prevalence amongst pregnant women pe. Yehwe among pregnant young people wonga mofra wo no yehu se prevalence a drop from about 1.5 to 1.2. Syphilis so yehu se na ye 0. Previous years say akosoro kakra 0.4. Now say yehwe trend na che erikosoro ankasa na yeka apemfo a wobewu a na che mmofra wo nyi sai mebo a ye free bi elimination of mother to child transmission as a country no ye pese you do less than 5%. Inso ye share ye data na che Ghana ye number around 18%. Ansa na yebetimi akasa ye to HIV ase ewo emofra ne apemfo mu no na say eba down to less than 5%. Yehu say new infections okoso among young people emofra almost 3,000 new infections from mother to child. And yet,
if you are able to control these and then make sure that there's the elimination of the mother to the child, then you have a healthy population which is growing. If you lose that fight, then definitely you can imagine the cost to the national economy if you really have to go on to medications and all that, despite the fact that yes, now those who are on medications are able to live very, very fruitful life and then contribute their quota. So my message all in all is that yes, we've gone a very long way. The fight is still on. We will then have to make sure that it is in an integrated manner, because as we are dealing with the disease, we are dealing with a human being. So sometimes they say, so we are treat the human being, don't treat the disease.
Abusiafo yem free ya Bono region and so asem no ehu pa wase ye nyina ye hwe ehu eyie Bono region na de na doctor for no kire mu se ekoso ewo ema pemfuo mu na che se wanyem dada no wanhwa no de akwa akra no so wanko hospital a na mom ukọ hospital ntema doctor for nya aduru a ye betimi de ama wa ba no o hye yefunu mu na unya wo no HIV mo wa no enko ni mu na mo mema no so mo Bono region no ase de na mu ye o se hin na mu kodwagu mu amko tete virus na mo de ba no obeya hwe yie pa wo Bono region mo afa nkofo mama ankoto esane emu yefri onom ne enko ensefufuo mu ne enko ensefufuo ma event vendors association wo mu ko no ma kan bom no mo de wo mu dwumadi esonko bi atodwa we ndi etoso mienu kraye Ghana event industry conference ya bota kese pa wo mu ene se wo mo dwendwene ekuo no kwan ya ne ya covid aba ma event bebre ye dwumadi a na ka ye hyeda bodwa ne aye no akofom no kwan betimi ahwe no wo ma fa kwan wo fro so ma mo adwuma no akọ animu na nkofo adwuma emmo mo metene fie na afeso sa abre kro no aso mu nuan bi o ma bo homode no wo metimi ede abo mo abaso ewo Afia yekusi mu no emu.
Event industry of Ghana has and as I make us event stakeholders. The event stakeholders are moye decoration, moye MCing, caterers, bakers, cake designers, DJs, rental companies. I mean from A to Z. Obia or event. The events are weddings, parties. I mean more of social events. Awarded almost for their good hard work. Even though this year hasn't been easy at all, but you see, with the grace of God, and with us coming together as a body and as a family, we've been able to stand until now. And we not knowing what the year was bringing to us. Nanka, GEIC, which we do every year, that we started last year, and our theme was Power Up. And I said, no, but my yesterday, lockdown in Libya, we powered ourselves enough with whatever has happened until we still have to go on. And although we went to me in your conference, because most of our speakers were international speakers and they can't travel now. Until she said, I say, awarded or more from last year, which our calendar starts in August. Last year, August till now, more my year, now I must say industry name no I say more awards and gala and awards night.
Abusiafo yem free event for no akache na fe yen question apo awdo mu na a university relations officer Emma Kwame Commerce apo ni mu e wa sentiment man Kumasi emu KNUSC Dr. Daniel Norris Bequin and watch as a private investors ayan ankwankra wo mu de wo musika ehye enwuma mu a etumi eyeye no wo mu sere mu a wo mra Ghana na for musika anfa musika mehye University of Science and Technology Kwame Commerce University tech Trinity aka ne tech no onfa mehye na wo musisi accommodation dormitories anase hostels are school for no betna mu no na timi abo san say nei in out ni ntino school for bebe ba wo munya ba bi wo mudi wo muti ebeto wo benya bi yesu na bo no mpemanim wo hwe na ma me ne papa wo mu ni dwetire a echese wa efie na wo koi.
Dr. Daniel Norris Bequin in some way to ja Emra Mpenyimfo mo Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Vice Chancellor Nkasa Edano Professor Rita Akosua Dixon yebeka se ketesi call eno mbepiem e Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly Mpenyimfo na Emra dwumadi ne eba awie na UTV nsam trefo ene na twetwe nkoma what is handsome way edit to edwa. The
student population no over 64,000 na about 80% of students no at private hostels outside. Na no na the security challenges kakraba. Esan say nkola ne sua de sa na enwumre ana najo omukọ omo hostels na to de bia na akronfo etumi tata. Enti ye bie kwan atom dadada. Say obi a owusika omotumi aba KNUST yɛwɔ nsase bebree a yɛne ɔmo be call into agreement a yɛfrɛ no build, operate and transfer. Yɛwɔ arrangement a very very nice. For instance, we operated for about 45 years and sana ebia wa transfer ama university no. Enti yɛfa saa kwanya we so na yɛde atoja. So bia owo oye investor na so wiska opese obesi private hostel e campus university no ebema no asase na we see na o be operating for about 45 years now. After that no I transfer.
Kwanche for Penya Oda Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly onumunyam for OSSB entry eso ne UTV nsam twefo atwetwe nkomo e ma wo kyerɛ ayonkofa eda KMA ene Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology ano.
Ene KNUST wa ayonkofa for all these years. Yeni umu edi nkomo yen challenges yen problems no. Maybe ene umu discuss it help us omo boye ma yitimi nya solution to the problems na yitimi de adwuma. Then omo baye no komodia ene umu die no area bit is a beautification of the city. The two new vice chancellor nim say omo no betimi take no as their project work. Na areas ni bebree wo hot runabout ni all the others omo betimi de ama omo students ni be as project worker ebeboa amana enhance the collaboration. Na university nso ma ehun say omo challenge pa no accommodation on campus. Hono ya dey ato menim say KMA ye ne investors bi go ho ayedi nkomo ayadu advanced stages. Until going forward no ye no mbeka bom na yetimi asolve the accommodation need.
Abusanfo yenyina santimantem ho no ma ne enkoso ame abato mpese aso so afo a won na hwe eye mrahye adwuma ho nsem so Minister for Parliamentary Affairs onu kro ya ene ye mrahye badwani ewo so ame ono abu chemensa bonsu obi ayi neti so ogina se content kro no se aden MP a wo ba yenye ne wa tena konwa so adisa na ka se MP ni nyina na ebrofo na awresh and I put it to you na Mr. Speaker no se hwe wonu ogina se content kro na we eno ono bu chemense hu ye no se omunya no small boys are young we wonko ba bia nya de obegina ba bia no se wototo ase ne nkofo mo ne potamu nyina ne se adwuma de omo ba ne wo maye na wono wo ye krado eno ogini hu di se abato ebeto no bronya bosumi no we de odine chi beka fo nkra wonko ba bia wono obesan wi wato adwuma pa wo ye maso amefo e wo mahye bedwom
Onwonyam for Oseche Mensa Bonsu ono ena ye mrahye bedwani ewo Suame afi oye majority leader sai Minister for Parliamentary Affairs wakwa ye nhemudie bi ewo Suame emra woni MPP fo mpanyimfo ehia na no ena wo mu di tudwa se eye owura bi wo honom a oso obekọ independent ewo honom na no ena onwonyam for Oseche Mensa Bonsu e ka se onima de konti e ha saa nipa kro na oso no obegina se independent na sa wo ye party ni ba na sa party ni sigina ye bia ewo se ofu aso nembom onim se nya dia Suame no nipa dodo mbeto abama MPP no eso beti efise saa owura yi eko independent.
Winning election, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the presidential candidate is concerned, enya dia ye da so da ye say ye win and win massively. See ya minti any constituency for ninti no. Me shame dem me tupu no say me ye campaign back. The least that I can get is 50,000 votes from Suame. But nya no ni here. Because some show them say on your campaign, na benya 50,000, benya 40,000. As a president, benya 40,000. What her party na her president no? I didn't know say ni brace ye basic form ye dwumaden. Menim say ye ni bre na ye dwumaden pa. Say ni say ye pese ye no. We are targeting to get 80,000 for the presidential candidate. But I can tell you, say independent na also ba no. It ye 5,000 votes. Or ye imposter on ye MPP ni na obi wo pekwa bia bewura yemu o de abekọ so confusion no ti me shebusuafo nkran titru MPP forum wo so ame no omoma obi a na ada wo ye me ni na ho wo mo a ene na mfichiri ye se ye MPP fo no ono mboa
eno echi owura Francis Adomako ono e regional organizer edema MPP amanyeku no ono so chire mu sei
akaba 107 days na ni October. So 107 days no it was it me refie buim ye ni power e kasa your market your magazine your other artisans it was say organizers a share no more strategy yɛde bɛkɔ fam ne make sure sɛ yɛkɔ ɛne obiara yɛde akasa.
abusiafo yɛmfiri hɔ nom na afei yɛnkɔ amano ne ho nsɛm ne yɛkɔ yɛnuanom nigerfoɔ yɛ a wɔn sɛ wɔn ni port nti wɔn nneɛma kora tɛma ha yɛ a ɛna yɛ wɔn nneɛma fa ansa na continue for wɔn landlord countries no nsuo yiri ama afa nkrɔfo anye nipa ketewa ɛwɔ hɔ no meka sɛ nipa ewuo ɛwɔ mu yɛ aduana mmienu wɔn so asɛ wɔn agya pade esei wɔn nya baabi wɔn ti no ɛde wɔn ti kora bɛto ɛyɛ mpem ahanu aduonu mmienu.
If we brother no nsuo no to ye e wo ne je memu ama nsuo na no